Yeah, yeah, yeah. What is today? A fried egg?
Today is a fried egg.
I love a fried egg. So, how are you, darling? Are you well?
I'm a little brain fried, not gonna lie.
Just let it flow.
Dude, are you gonna put the new theme in this episode?
We gotta work it.
We don't need to work it.
I'm
It's
really happy with
perfect.
the lyrics, but I think that if I could sing into a microphone maybe and, throw some reverb on it.
The brain slew, slick with ectoplasmic juice.
Ecstatic energy, a fire that fuels our memory.
With genealogy, with spiritual topography.
Questions for your answers. We are data necromancers.
Fucking figured it out.
I kind of want to talk about original sin with you.
Let's talk about original sin. We've been talking about it all day.
So, Whitney has a toddler, as many of you probably already know. And
I procreated.
her behavior changes all the time, but recently there's been a trend. Do you want to describe the trend of your toddler's behavior?
She's been sinning. No, she hasn't been sinning.
She's been
kinda.
wicked.
I have a very sweet child, and then a week ago, she's not sweet anymore. You'll get like piercing sweetness sometimes, but for the most part, from the moment she wakes up until the moment she goes to bed, she's screaming and crying over strange things that I can't control or give her. And I've just been disciplining her, but this just doesn't work. Because for my own sanity, it's like, hey, you're crying and whining right now. I can't get you a purple dinosaur chicken nugget with ketchup because it doesn't exist. And then she freaks out. And it's like I'm seeing all the memes the toddler memes.
Oh, toddler memes.
And I try to give her as much choice as possible. Okay, you don't want the green cup. I get that. You want the purple cup. You don't have a lot of choice. I wipe your ass every day. But we're way beyond that now.
Yeah.
We're at, I want to go on a plane right now. And I'm like, yeah, we can't go on a plane right now.
Yeah.
She's asking inherently, without social conditioning, things that she knows she can't have. She's tripping her own wire, which seems like humans are kind of doomed from the start if that's what it means to grow a rapid computer in your skull.
It's got to be the computer growth, but also I think there's this inherent contradiction between, predestination
Desire
or destiny and autonomy and free will and choice. And almost like she's also realizing the power of her voice and like the things that she can say. Because sometimes she can bring things into her midst that weren't there before just by asking for it. So it's almost like she's testing the limits of her powers on you.
Yes, I think also too there's a volume knob that she is discovering of frustration and pure sadness and distraught, and she just loves turning that on right now. And it's there's electricity going through that circuit for the first time. And dear God, can you hear me? Please.
Yeah, he's listening to everyone all at once, all the time.
God's like, you have alcohol.
I gave you alcohol.
I gave you
what else do you
booze
need?
and food and drugs, mushrooms, acid.
There's cartoons.
There's movies.
Video games.
Shut up.
Like,
Where?
God.
Where?
Your kid wants purple dinosaur nuggets with red hearts on them. But so it brings us to the topic of original sin because, so I guess, Adam and Eve at the beginning, God created a beautiful garden for them to live where they would not want for anything. But he said, hey, guess what? This tree, the tree of knowledge, you cannot eat from this because if you do, you won't be able to stay in the garden. And we all know what happens when God says, don't do this. You do it. And then you fall from grace and you curse all of the people who are descended from you to be stained with that same sin unless they are redeemed through Christ made man. And that's Christianity in a nutshell.
Here's what I'm hearing. Because I've tripped very hard on acid about this before, and I didn't want to. But this serpent was everywhere, and so were titties.
Yeah.
In my acid trip.
Oh.
And I tripped.
I was like,
no, yeah.
they are.
And I was like texting my aunt. I was like, I don't know shit about Adam and Eve, but it's coming through real heavy right now.
Whoa.
Here's what I hear. We were God. And then we weren't. And it shattered perfect reality into a bunch of fractured shards of separateness.
So when you say we were God, we were one with God?
No, we were God. We are God.
I believe that, but I also think that in the Christian perspective that
Well, they take it literally. That's why
God
has
all the knowledge. God is omnipotent. God is omniscient. And that knowledge was what was kept from us and what made us. That was the sin. Like, we got the knowledge we weren't supposed to have.
Yeah, I don't even listen to what the Christians are saying because it's so distorted. It's like you guys took this the whole wrong way. You cherry picked the things that you want. There was a garden. We were one. And then what I always want to know. Okay, so the facet of God that was feminine, that reached for free will, or what kind of cataclysmic utter chaos? What is that spark of desire to shatter itself? I think sometimes boredom.
Yeah, it's like sizzling the matrix, just like making something exciting happen because you're familiar with everything that's happening. You want something new. You want a new situation to kind of experience and figure out and navigate.
And part of God, the masculine part, Adam, was like, this, we have order, we have control. No. Don't
There's
do
also
that.
that bit where the Eve.
But what's the serpent? What if the serpent's an alien?
The serpent could very well be an alien.
Who was like,
in the story, it's the devil. But the devil could easily be an alien. You know, angel, fallen angel, you know, celestial bodies. But it's interesting that Eve, you know, was created by God from Adam's rib. But
let's not take that literally because it's not how it's supposed to be taken.
Right. But it's I'm just trying to suss out what that means about the feminine versus the masculine and why one comes from the other. And it's strange to think like women are the ones who have the ability to create human brains inside their bodies, not men.
No.
So why is it written that women come from men?
Well, right. And was that distorted?
Right.
Where, you know, I found that book that I showed you today on
Yeah.
eBay. Oh my God, I need to just buy it. It's
Yeah.
it's the rejected books of the Bible, and a lot of the chapters were about Eve. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, okay, so obviously dudes came in and went, no, and then destroyed the writings, threw the books out, said, no, it was me. You came from, and you're like, oh, did your mommy, like, what?
Thanks for 2 millennia of patriarchy. Or, you know, much, much more.
I got 2 pens right now. I don't know what that means.
She's ready.
The one's red and one's blue. Which one do you pick?
I've been red-pilled. But it's like, shit, like I have a thought that I want to spew out. I just need to find the top of it.
We're designed to fizzle out when we think about this stuff. It happens to me every time.
I know. We need to put on our tinfoil hats. Oh, I have a black pen. What does it mean? Yours are red and blue and mine is black?
Adam and Eve and the serpent? I don't know. I'm also noticing this fucking... I've never noticed this light switch before, but it looks like it was put in by man. It was like, oh, can you just finger putty this stuff? And then, oh shit,
like
we
all
gotta move
crooked
it over
and shit.
because this cabinet's in the way.
What the hell? Yeah, that's
just-
definitely an afterthought.
It's looking extra distorted right now. It's staring at
So,
me.
Christendom, patriarchy. Okay, so I wanted to touch on my studies of Christianity and the history of Christianity in college. There were several councils, ecumenical councils, over the development of Christianity where all of the men
Daisy chained.
daisy chained each other. I'm not exactly sure I know what that means, but I think I know. They got together and decided what wasn't biblical canon and what was. And they did this. The first one was the Council of Nicaea in 325, and that's when they decided whether Jesus was God or whether Jesus was the Son of God. And then they had another council where they decided whether Mary was the mother of God or whether Mary was the mother of God made man. And so like these I remember like specific Greek words like homoousios, which is like same substance, and then it goes into like transubstantiation of the Eucharist, like the host. This part blew my mind about Christianity. Everything blows my mind about it, but especially this part. When a priest blesses the bread and the wine, it literally, like physically, it looks the same, but its substance is transformed, transubstantiated into the actual body of Christ. So the belief of Catholicism, at least, is that if you eat this, the actual body of Christ, you are taking medicine to be immortal. And I know that has nothing to do with Adam and Eve, but it just like the specificity that was established by all these men over time, like thousands of years ago. It's like, how does that apply to us today? How could we actually get anything useful out of that the way that our lives have developed, you know?
It's the only thing that's made it this far, which is kind of a bummer.
It's like this millennia long game of telephone. What were the original important ideas and where do you start counting the ideas? Because, you know, Abraham and the Jewish faith, or like Judaism, like that's what Christianity is based out of. But then they kind of just like brush over the Old Testament and they're like, the New Testament is where it's at. So it's like the whole practice is about picking what works for you and emphasizing that and ignoring everything else. Sorry to call everyone who's Christian a hypocrite.
It almost seems natural, right? It's almost like I want to pick a team. And
yeah,
I
it's
want to
like,
be
well, that
on the
doesn't really
team.
work for me.
This is gonna sound really naive, but the conflict between Palestine and Israel is a religious one, right? And they're always fighting over religious land.
Yeah, because that is like ground zero
It's like-
for like all the holy
No, it's
relics
Islamic.
and stuff. So Judaism, Christianity, and Islam all have like really specific things that happened there that were very important to the development of their rituals and their practices. So they're all based on the same like Father God concept, but they can't agree on the terms of who the like living interpreters of Father God's words would be.
What a sacred place. I've talked to my friend Hannah because I was like, I want to go to Bethlehem. And she was like, you should, because she's been. Because there's like the place where Jesus kneeled and it's all fenced off, but you can go into it. You know, it's like,
It's crazy to think about that spot 2,000 years ago, what was happening there and how it impacted the way
or going
time has
somewhere where
unfolded.
Buddha has been, and they're like, no, he was here, and you're like, whoa. you know.
Yeah, that would be cool. It's different in a sense because Buddha is all of us all at once, all the time, and we just need to realize that.
To me, Jesus is the same thing.
Right. But that's not really how Christians understand Jesus.
Yeah, I just don't think Christians know anything. I'm like, dude, the Jesus story and the Buddha story are identical. You're not listening to what he's saying. You know, so that's why I just I can't even hear it because to me it's so profound and makes so much sense, but to them it doesn't mean anything.
I think that one of the sticking points for Christianity has been how specific it is about how you're supposed to behave and what you're supposed to believe.
Right.
I think if people didn't have such a rigorous instruction manual.
Could you imagine how people are barbaric now? Imagine 2,000
I often
years ago.
think about it. I often think about because when people say oh, the world is so terrible, everything's shit, everything's going to shit, I think about
the Renaissance
a few
times.
centuries ago when we were boiling each other alive and peeling off our skin.
Like Count Dracula. That dude was the...
Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah, no. He's
drinking people's blood, putting their heads on pikes. I really think we've made a lot of progress and will continue to do so. But that doesn't... I'm not trying to say there's no cruelty left in the world, because there obviously
absolutely is. But it's there's people always bitching about...
it's getting worse. There's no way it's getting worse.
No.
I'm reading a book right now called Doomsday Book, and this lady is a historian, and she went back in time to the medieval ages, so 1323, and it's just interesting. I know it's fiction, but it's historical fiction, and she's describing how dirty everyone is. Everyone is so dirty, and there's rats and fleas and flea bites, and I just think we need to be grateful for science and knowledge, and we need to encourage everyone to continue learning and improving, because that is the only way that we will continue to make progress.
But don't get dogmatic about your science, because then
Don't get dogmatic about anything.
No.
Stay open.
Stay
Trust
objective.
but verify.
Stay critical.
Yes.
Always.
Don't just, take somebody's word for it. Because everything's constantly changing, too. Which, goes without saying. Oh, wait, can I move my chair now? Because you stood up. Thank you.
No, buddy.
But yes, back to the original question about original sin.
You know what that does, though? Babies who haven't been baptized, they technically go to hell. Because they haven't been redeemed. And that doesn't really jive with me.
Yeah, it's get your Jenga game out of here.
But it was also, there was this doctrine of purgatory that was popular for a little while because it became convenient for the Catholic Church to start selling these things called indulgences. So
Was it some cheese on a titty or something you could lick off?
So rich families could pay for extra prayers to get their loved ones out of purgatory and into heaven. So that was one of the, super decadent, opulent things that the Catholic Church was doing. Yeah. And Martin Luther was like, this is not scriptural. This is not based in scripture. There's nothing about indulgences in the Bible. So that was the not the main impetus for the Protestant Reformation, but one of the huge things that Martin Luther was just this is not what God would want us to be doing.
I was in a museum, and suddenly I got a crazy burst of energy, and I was standing inches from Martin Luther's, I don't know, a pulpit? What do you stand? Pulpit. It was a big piece of wood, and I was like, what is this? Wow. And I had to look for the little thing that said what it was.
He definitely triggered a huge shift in thinking that...
So when was he out and about doing stuff?
When was he doing his thing? I don't know. Let me look it up really quick. But he was kind of the impetus behind the entire Protestant Reformation. There was also like John Calvin, who wanted to give the power back to the people, like people talk directly to God instead of having an intercessor, because Catholics always have to talk to God through a priest. And, they have to go and do confession, and the priest has to tell them, how many Hail Marys to do and how many Our Fathers to do, And then, so Calvinists, Lutherans, they're the ones who started our country. The Puritans came over for religious freedom to be way stricter about their behavior. Anyway, let me look this up. Martin Luther.
And now conservatives are demanding to be called Christian. And I'm like, you guys totally forgot that the founding fathers demanded religious
A separation between church and state.
Oh, wait, you don't know anything about the founding fathers.
So Martin Luther, German priest, theologian, author, and hymn writer, was born, he died 1546.
What a good year.
Decent year. My family are Lutherans. Sorry to put your business out there, but I think Lutheran is pretty chill. I don't know. They're really, really good Christians. They give people food and clothes. And I think that they take Jesus's original message of accepting people and loving them first and foremost as their doctrine, their central doctrine.
I would go to church if we could all just be chill and actually help people.
Right.
If Sunday was like, hey, let's go here and do this thing, I'd be like, oh, fucking sign me up. Let's go do that.
I think there are churches like that, but there's this. I always thought that when Christianity came over to this side of the world, that it got strangely circuitous and kind of watered down.
Yes.
And then it branched off and branched off. There's Pentecostalists, there's snake handlers, there's all these different iterations of the original spirit of Christianity. And everybody thinks they got the right thing going. That baffles me.
I love how religious you get when you make mac and cheese.
It just comes out of me. It's one of my spiritual lineage foods. I'm connected to my ancestors through mac and cheese.
Is the body of Christ.
For real. Yeah. I think pasta and cheese are the most important markers of civilization other than religion.
I saw a cheesy quote, but I did think of you because I liked it. It was
cheesy as in dealing with cheese or being...
It was on a pasta truck. And it was an actual, I don't know, it wasn't this gentrified crap. It said, there's two things in life, magic and pasta. And I was like, yeah.
I would argue pasta is magic.
Yeah.
There's only one thing in life. Belief and disbelief. Nah. Yeah, but I stand firmly in my decision to make beef stroganoff or mushroom stroganoff for aliens as their first dish.
What's their second dish? Chipped beef?
Shit
on a shingle?
I think it would be mac and cheese. Maybe seafood mac and cheese. I love that so much. It's kind of a sinful thing to add cheese to seafood, but come on.
I have never had a cheesy seafood.
I am going to making it.
What are you going to put in there? Mermaid pussy?
No mermaid pussy will go in that. I think that a little bit of lobster, a little bit of shrimp, a little bit
dice it up. You dice it up. You don't even know what's in there.
You get little bite-sized lumps. I made shrimp stock yesterday for my class, which was a no-show. I'm looking at you, internet. What did you do? Why'd you do it? Thanks for the money, but I still set everything up. Anyway, I made a bunch of delicious shrimp stock, and I was going to cook the pasta for the mac and cheese in it, because I was going to put a shrimp in the middle of the mac and cheese fritter.
To scare you.
Do because I seasoned it with blackening seasoning. So Cajun shrimp in the middle of kind of spicy. I don't know. It didn't happen. But it might yet.
Dude, I made a trauma chart, a family trauma chart.
Oh, like a flow chart?
Yeah.
Go on.
It's all the ladies. All the
Damn.
ladies got all the, or they are also the perpetuators of trauma.
So, yeah, that's where self-awareness comes in. How self-aware were they?
Not. I think everybody flails and then they start drowning and they demand other people to help them by. There's a lot of like boundaryless kid stuff. I don't know. That was like one of the first things I noticed is when my baby came out. I was like, this world's going to crush you. And that's why we're here. It's to be crushed and learn how to not be crushed. And
Yeah, sometimes it's nice to think about it as like a rock tumbler.
yes. Yeah. It's just
Instead of like a trash compactor.
Yeah, that's a better way to put it. My baby won't be smushed, but
She'll be shaped.
she'll be shaped and polished and gotta do a little bit of hands-free, a little bit of hands-on. You know, it's all about balance. Oh shit. I just thought about balance. Oh! Sarah, my mentor, showed me this chart, and it was a crazy chart. It was like an hourglass, and fear was on it, and love was on it, and compassion and empathy, and hate, and all those things. And you can't do any of them too much. Can't be too open. Can't love too much. Can't be walked on. Can't hate everybody, but you need some hate. And it talked about, like, you know, in order to talk to the dead, you have to be very balanced, because I think a lot of communicating with entities that we don't understand, you have to have an awareness of your own thoughts and what's yours and what's not yours. And I'm angry right now. I can't decipher what's happening. But it was a really cool fucking diagram. I don't think I have it, but I was like, yeah, you can't be too compassionate, because then you'll die.
You'll get taken advantage of.
Yes, and you can't be too hateful for obvious reasons. You do have to constantly toe the edge.
Yeah, it's like it's
Some
not.
days you swing, you know, and other days you come out the other end. And
I think it's important to remember that it's not something that one day you master and you're done. It's like you constantly are considering all those different things and adding a little bit here, taking a little bit away over there.
And just kind of like, you know, Barrel of Monkeys, how their arms were shaped like this and they can just go around on a rope. That's how I feel, you know, like you're kind of just always trying to.
I'm glad you're still seeing Sarah. I didn't know with your
It ends in September.
schedule if you were still doing it.
Mondays at 9 p.m. I'm always
wow.
so tired when I do it, but it's always really worth it, because she's curious about the ancestor stuff, and I was like, oh, I forgot that homework to make the flow chart. But it was
But you did it.
I did it, yeah.
Do you want to talk about that trauma flow?
You know what? I only did my dad's side, and then I was like, I should do my mom's side. I feel you can't ignore a whole half of your. I'm so detached from them, but there's a lot of trauma on that side too.
Yeah, and it's wild to remember like the exponential number of people behind
Whoa!
your mom and behind your dad. It's like times 2, times 4.
But I also wonder
8.
if one side is coming through more as the first step. You know, it's like I can feel certain people knocking ancestors on that door. It's like, well, I should answer that door. Even if this side isn't doing it right now, maybe it's not time, you know?
Yeah, I think it also has a lot to do with your own focus.
Yeah.
And your own interests. Probably you feel more connected to Hazel Meyer bits just because that's your identity. That's
Yeah, I suppose I've always felt alienated on the other side.
yeah.
Yeah, it was funny. I was asking my boss, like, oh, hey, is his family's abroad? was like, are they coming for your wedding? He's like, no. I was like, damn. You know, and he was talking about being a black sheep, and then he asked me, he's like, don't you have family like that? And I was like, yeah, I do, actually. Duh. We all do. There's just people you don't, that's like the fractured American way, you know?
Yeah.
I've got my own shit and a garage door that closes behind me. I don't know anyone, you know?
It's true. It's something that I lament quite often because
imagine, do you ever go down this block? I don't know what road this is. I will never remember what road this is. This way and then that way.
yeah, it was closed for like construction a little bit for
It is
a few
packed
months.
full of families just having big fucking dinners.
I love that.
None of them are white. None of them are white. And it's like every weekend. You know, and they might not all be family. It might be friends and whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, I want that. Come to my house.
That's
you
what
know?
that's what we do. For
That is
each
what
other.
we do for each other.
I think that the friendship that I've found in you and Aaron, and you know, by extension, and Lucas and John Paul, it's like this.
You're the one I call
unit.
when I'm in jail. Like
Yeah.
you're the phone call. Yeah.
It's like I'm hanging on a ledge.
Come
I
get
have
me.
my
Okay.
phone in one hand. I'm holding on with the other. Can you come here? Yeah, and I'm super grateful for that. But I know that I have loving family members out there who I think about dearly. I sent them some stickers.
Oh.
My Aunt Charlene, who I call Mama now, even though she's technically my aunt, she's my Mama. She sent me a card back.
Oh.
And she said, thank you for sharing your suicidal onion friend with us. It's like, oh, well, he's a dumpling, but thank you for the card. But, you know.
Please keep that card forever.
Forever and ever. I am so excited to go to the Outer Banks for her 80th birthday jamboree.
Damn, I was thinking, I was like, she's older, right? Obviously, calling her mama, so.
But she is so, like, wickedly with it.
Does
like,
she hydrate?
She has all of these super healthy behaviors that she's been doing for the last 30 or 40 years.
Like what?
Like she has a notebook of the bird watching bits that she does out the window every morning at 6:30. It's so beautiful to look at her like bird notes. And she's like, that damn squirrel is back.
Whose sister is this?
This is my dad's oldest sister.
Wow.
So he was one of 6 and he was the youngest.
Oh, okay.
And she
Okay.
was the oldest, is
Right.
the oldest. And they've lost their sister Jane, their brother David, and my dad.
So there's only 2 more?
So there's my Uncle Roger, and there's my Uncle Johnny, and my Aunt Charlene, who's Mama.
Wow.
And it's funny because they called themselves the Skinnies and the Chubbies. All 3 of the Skinnies passed away first. And I wouldn't call Mama chubby, but she's been lumped in with my Uncle Roger and Uncle Johnny. I love you all. I don't know that you watch this or listen to it, but if you do, I love you.
They can feel this funny feeling in their chest as you speak, and they don't know why.
So I'm very excited about that because I'll get to cook for them, and that's how I demonstrate love. Also, goofing with them is fun too.
Goofing with family is the best. I hate it though, because like seeing my cousins, I'm like, God, why do you guys live so far?
Oh man, yeah.
I'd
sometimes-
kill to have you guys on my block, you know.
How tight would that be? Just to have like a compound where all of your
Fun fucking cousins live.
yeah. I mean, we just need our own little village.
I know.
But if we try and open up our hearts to everybody out there, like everybody is somebody's sweet family member, right?
Yeah, but like your family is like funny, like you know?
Yeah. I like hanging out with my cousin Cliff, because he's like, I only see him at like Thanksgiving or at the Outer Banks thing like I did last year. He's like anti-social media. He's like,
Dude, none of my cousins are on social media. It's great. Isn't that a cousin thing?
I guess so.
Or is it our generation, like half of them were lost at sea of like not.
I think a lot of people are just like fed up with all of the bullshit and like wading through it and like superficial shit.
Dude, having a full-time job now, I'm never on it. And I'm like, man, this is great.
Yeah, it's a very interesting dance for me because I have this addiction to performing and like having people see me perform because
Should we go sign up for fucking open mic or something? Or
what would
improv?
we do?
Improv classes? I don't know. I've always wanted to do that though.
My friends were in an improv group in college, but I never had the desire to join them.
Did you ever go to like there's a improv club downtown that's in a basement?
Is that Esther's Follies?
No, it's like small as shit.
Oh, I did not.
It's so fucking funny.
Really? I feel like I came across this like mega expression zone that we're in now only
is,
in
catching
relation
the
to
wave.
you. Like I never really wanted to do this stuff before.
So what was the moment? I thought you were doing it though. That's why I was like, oh, I'll help you.
It didn't really have a clear expression.
Oh, okay.
I could feel there was something that wanted to get out, but I didn't know what it was or how it would come to life, come to fruition.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, you are part of my Cambrian explosion of creativity.
I feel like we caught the wave.
And I'm glad that we, I guess, had the wherewithal to like know it was time to lunge and fucking jump on the
I
board and
definitely
glide.
would not have been ready sooner than this.
Yeah. Well, I also think that the pandemic was great fodder
Yes.
for our imaginations and our resolve to sort of build up and be like, why do I work 40 to 60 hours a week doing somebody else's bidding?
A lot of people had that realization.
But we have such a limited amount of time on this planet with our sense organs. We have to make the best of it. And I feel like that's what we're doing. So I'm proud of that.
Cousin Cliff. That was the deviation from your original.
Cliff, how do I describe Cliff?
Why were we talking about Cliff? Just to chat about cousins, right?
Because, like, politically, like, value-wise, like, we're very different. But we just have a great time hanging out, you know, drinking beer at the beach. I don't want anybody to be excluded from my love circle because they voted differently or something, you know?
No.
I just want to have an open heart and an open mind.
What's the beach like in OBX? Is Myrtle Beach part of that?
No. Isn't Myrtle Beach, South Carolina?
It's part of North Carolina too, but
The Outer Banks, I think, is North Carolina. But it's like this chain that comes down from Virginia. Couldn't really tell you anything else about it.
so bummed my book didn't get to your brother.
It might yet.
It might.
Yeah,
might.
it really could.
Because, like, what else are they going to do with it? Because you showed me the message and it said, okay, if you send me regular mail, that's the same address.
You'll get it back, or some asshole will take it home and feed it to his dogs or something. I don't know. What book was it?
It's so funny. It's the most powerful out of all the books. It deviated from his path.
Whoa.
It's the book about the guy who was in prison who got out with magic, meditating and stuff.
What's really, really dumb is that they have a whole list of books that are banned
Can we see it?
from going into prisons.
Can we see it?
And one of them is Sun Tzu's Art of War. Like, what are they going to do with that? Let's see.
Can we email transcripts of the banned books to them?
Prison banned books.
Is it all prisons?
There's a website called bookstoprisoners.net, and it says,
And there's a little 7-Up gif in the back.
The first sentence says, Books to Prisoners believes that prisoners benefit from access to information. In many states, departments of correction maintain strict guidelines. So it's on a state-by-state basis. And then they have a list of states with all the banned books for each state. And this is another example of why church and state should be separate, because I think there's a lot of Christian ideology that's restricting the information flow.
Do you think so? Or you know that?
That's just my gut feeling. Let's see. What's banned in Virginia?
Suicidal onion mans?
Yeah. Books. Oh, Lord, I need to put my glasses on. It's a big list. There's so many typos on this chart. There's like foreign language books that are banned.
Oh.
A Dope Girl Needs Love 2, Game of Thrones, A Hustler's Dream, A Night of Making Liquor. Wow, this is a lot of banned books. A Witch's Bible, Academy of Lust. There are 70 pages. Tattoo Ideas, The Drawing Crew.
Oh.
The Adventurer's Guide to the Outdoors.
Oh.
The Anti-Government Movement book.
Of course you can't read anything like that in there.
What? The Lucid Dreamer.
No.
That breaks my heart. I know there's thousands of titles on this list, but to try and restrict someone's ability to enjoy their dreams,
You talk about that, I'm going to cry.
that's disgusting.
Oh.
Ugh, I am incensed.
Why did we look at that? All the ones that you read were just very tenderizing. I don't know why you had to read that. I thought it was going to be like the big titty licked the hard cock. You're like, okay, I guess you can't read porn in there, but it was like, it was worse than that. It was like super sad stuff.
Yeah, that's so...
Oh, sorry guys. What a dump. What
so
else can we talk about?
Okay.
Okay.
Recentering. I'm so mad.
Okay, hold on. Please, for posterity, can you look up the book, The Lucid Dreamer? Just to make
Okay.
sure it's not about, I don't know, a Hungarian manhunt for pussy.
Okay. The Lucid Dreamer, Malcolm Godwin. The Lucid Dreamer. Maybe it's like a novel about having sex or something.
We can only hope. It's a novel about lucid dreaming on how to have sex with the prison guards from your mind. That's why they don't.
The
That's why they don't.
subtitle is A Waking Guide for the Traveler Between Worlds.
No, so it is what we don't want it to be.
It's got 4.5 stars and 46 reviews on Amazon.
Oh.
And it is banned from prisons in the state of Virginia. Why would they want to block their dreams? Because prisons are not about rehabilitation. They're about egregious punishment. And there's nothing more egregiously punishing than breaking down someone's soul. I think we should choose a new topic.
Anyways, a moment of silence for those who are not allowed to lucid dream.
On the positive side, the books that you have sent to my brother have made a huge impact.
I need to send the one that didn't go to him again. I need the address again.
Okay.
The new address.
Yeah.
And then I'll send, there's more of those, so.
You're a saint.
Anyways.
Yeah, access to information is so important.
And no one gets it. Education is...
Well, it sucks because people who do have access to information don't always seek it. People are not as insanely hungry to know as they maybe should be.
It's scary, maybe. Is it scary to know stuff?
I think there's comfort in the familiar.
Elizabeth brought this up. She thinks all babies are born incredibly intelligent, but a lot of them are raised in households full of fear.
Yeah.
Fear of physical punishment, fear of being yelled at, fear of, you see parents not let their kids be kids all the time. And that stunts intelligence and that stunts emotional growth if you're just always living in some sort of fear that your mom's going to come home and see this, fear, there's no support.
Yeah, I remember a good amount of fear growing up.
And there's obviously plenty of people who grow past that, but I think a majority of people don't.
Yeah. I think we go back to that that thing you said that one time where you were like, we're showing people how to grow and love and change. Like, we're leading by example. And I was like, I don't want to. But now
you were bummed about being you're like, I don't want to
be your mentor. I don't
asked.
want to be responsible for your development. I'm developing myself, which is incredibly selfish. And, I go back to that point where, what are we doing this for if we're not trying to help other people get to the same point,
It's fun to be a catalyst.
You're a huge catalyst, dude. You're a fucking enzyme.
Can't talk about some of the things I've recently catalyzed, but we can soon, I'm sure.
Ooh.
I just love, because so many people are in jobs they don't like, are in places they don't want to be, and don't know, or they're afraid to move past it. What if I'm uncomfortable? What if I go outside my comfort zone? It's like, dude, that's where a lot of transformation happens.
Yes.
I always get so mad when I'm like on the highway looking at the highway system, because it's just such a reminder that we don't change and we hate change, and it's hard to change because it's hard to uplift thousands of miles of concrete for a potential new way to travel. I don't know what that way would be, but it's like, I have fun, obviously, going 100 miles an hour down the toll road on the way home from work. That's fun. But what if we were in mermaid spaceship boots, and all this land was being utilized for something else? I think about all the wasted land, for what? To go to Dunkin' Donuts and and I got to go to the strip mall and return my shoe. It's like...
Yeah, it's interesting to think about, like, people who plan land use and, like, what their priorities are and who they're figuring into their land use priorities. And, like, I don't know. I like that we're getting more bike lanes and, like, more solid bike lanes. That's very nice. I would also like to ride trains to the airport.
How sick would it be? I don't understand. There's the fast train from DC to Baltimore. I think it goes up to New York. And that's like the beauty of the East Coast, is you can just like, let's go to New York for a day and come back, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, why the fuck is there not a bullet train between Houston, Dallas, and Austin?
Because it wouldn't run on gasoline?
I was like, dude, do you know how many people would fucking hop on a train and go check out Houston or Dallas for the day?
Would it run on gasoline?
No.
So yeah, I think big oil has a big thing to do with that, don't you think?
Yeah, or just the highways. They don't wanna make anything.
They want people to keep buying gas.
But all of our gas is foreign. We don't use American-made gas.
Is that true?
Yes.
Why is gas so cheap in Texas as opposed to other places in the country?
I don't know. It might be where we're importing it, but as far as I'm concerned, it's cheaper to buy foreign gas. and we make more money if we sell our gas to other countries. It's really fucked. I remember looking into it and being like, I'm done reading this. This is really fucked up.
It's wild to think about all the dinosaurs just like running around and eating each other and like hanging out in the sun.
We wouldn't have computers, we wouldn't have contacts, we wouldn't have
like the infrastructure
cars,
of
we wouldn't have
hospitals,
technology,
like all the plastics of hospitals.
we wouldn't have ovens, we wouldn't have. It's really weird. Like I don't know. I think about that sometimes.
Yeah. It makes me think of the rap that Robin Williams does in Mrs. Doubtfire, like right at the beginning. He's like, I'm a raptor, doing what I can, gonna eat everything to the appearance of man. Yo, 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 I'm living below the soil, but I'll be back and I'm coming as oil. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, they took over. They're in everything. They're the reason we've come this far. It's so weird. Why?
Is there any memory in their particles?
Probably. That's why we're villainous and hungry for flesh.
We're all raptors
Yes. You can't satiate our hunger.
because of all the plastics in our ocean. I want there to be, I want the fucking fungi to stand up and do their thing and clean up the planet.
Dude, they're so good at that.
Like, let's go. We need you.
Paul Stamets he's really leading the way on that sort of stuff.
Did you see Nausicaa in the Valley of the Wind?
Mm-mm.
Miyazaki already made a movie about mushrooms cleaning up pollution. And that was in the 80s, I think. It's a beautiful tale about Princess Nausicaa. But I digress. I'm a big Ghibli head.
I love all the Ghiblis. I haven't seen that one, though.
So easy to love. It's very good. I hope I didn't just spoil it for you.
You fucking spoiled it.
Spoiler alert! Nausicaa in the Valley of the Wind.
Thanks, guys, for joining in on our new fucking channel.
It's already been an hour?
Yup.
Wow.
You got mac and cheese buns. Are you excited to go to work tonight?
Yes.
Can you take one picture? I know you're busy. I know
Of
you're busy,
course.
but I just like want to see. I want to know if I should drive out. Can I go there? Do I have to be a member?
I don't think you can go there
It's
if
a
you're not
members
a
only
member.
thing?
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't know. I want to go somewhere and just get what? I don't know. You said you make sundaes and mozzarella sticks and
It's a large menu.
I like. How did Janet land it? Does she live out there?
No, she has a 45-minute drive too.
Damn.
How did she get out there? I think Eddie got the job. Steady Eddie got a job there as a barman. And
Oh.
Eddie brings his people. So he brought his friend DK, and then of course Janet. And they're like so good at what they do. Like the other people that were there were just extinguished.
In a bad way? Or
They
in a
were
good way?
bad. They were bad at what they did.
Hence being called in.
But yeah, I'm super excited. The ticket machine, we have like a screen where tickets come in and you have to like tap and like there's this window, like almost a drive-through window where you have to put the plates outside the window and like stick a ticket under there. And I'm like learning the system and trying to support Janet because she's on, Expo, but she's also on Fry and I'm on garde manger. Or like salad and dessert, but also sort of Fry too. And then Dayton and I kind of hit it off because he went to Le Cordon Bleu too.
Oh.
And I was like doing Chef Loicano impersonations. I was like, this is not what I wanted. And like,
You're thriving.
yeah, it's super fun. It doesn't feel like going to battle because not that I don't care about the outcome. Like, I'm just there to be with Janet and like help Janet. And just being there, she's like,
You met
"This
Janet
is amazing.
at Eastside.
Yes, we worked together at Eastside King Catering. Okay. And I was her supervisor for it, but we're just an incredible team. Like, we understand what needs to be done. And it's another one of those really beautiful kind of ineffable understandings like that I have with Aaron.
You find those often in the food industry.
when you can work with someone without having to like tell them what's going on, it's a dream. It's a beautiful dream come true. Shout out Janet, I love you, baby. I was her maid of honor at her wedding.
Oh.
Her anniversary, I think, is August 23rd. Her and Steady Eddie. They were together for like 20 years before they got married. But I love those guys.
I loved being a fill-in bartender for Central Standard, which was underneath.
Yes.
And then you just go down there and you would just blow everyone's dick off because they're like, how did you know? I'm like,
because I've done this before, you know?
1,000 times.
I love being like the mercenary that people call in.
Yeah.
They're like they're weeded by all the tickets that are rolling in. They're like, we need to tap our backup. And I'm like, shink, shink, I'm here. Let's go. So yeah, I'm getting really excited about going to work.
Dude, stepping into chaos, because in like the moment that it's done and you get to go home, you feel like you can rest and it feels so good. And yeah.
It's interesting how busy my weekends are now because, you know, doing the lodge Friday night and then getting up and doing a class
it's a
Saturday
Masonic
morning.
lodge, right?
I wish. And then going from class back out to the lodge Saturday night and then getting up and doing class Sunday morning and then doing class Sunday evening. There's no time between Thursday night and Sunday night. And I really dig it.
That's awesome.
It sucks because everybody else who has like a 9 to 5, they hang out on the weekend and I can't. But
I miss working on the weekends. I love working I hate having the weekends off.
Yeah, I love running my errands on the weekday, on like a Tuesday or something.
I accidentally had to go to HEB on Sunday and it was not my people.
Yeah.
I don't do this. I don't live this life.
This ain't me.
This ain't me. Ooh, can we put our link to buy me a coffee in our YouTube?
It's in there, babe.
Oh,
but this is not pod fodder, but it told me I need to go through a series of verifications in order to make clickable links in our bio or whatever.
Okay.
Okay, internet. Way to mansplain fucking links to me.
Sure.
Whatever. Blessings abound.
Blessings
Today is Friday.
abound.
May you all go about and do your things with love.
We hit 250 downloads.
Woo!
This is episode 16. That's awesome.
I'm sorry if you asked us a question. I forgot to check the email.
Oh, wait, are there questions in there?
I don't know.
Oh, check real quick. Quick. And if there are, we can put them at the beginning of the episode.
Okay.
I'm sure there aren't any.
Oh, we just got a lot of new follows on MawPod. Okay, email. Focus. You know when you open your phone and you're like, ooh, notifications.
Boo.
Cosmic Turd 69. Did we answer Berto's question on May 25th? We must have.
Yeah,
that was
we
a while
must
ago.
have.
We had one from Oxendale.
What did she say?
Sorry, Teresa. We'll hit this in the next.
Wait, let me see it.
We'll hit this in the next episode.
When was this? May 23rd.
I mean, you've been with her in person since then, haven't you?
Yes. Okay, we've got one on the docket. Sorry, guys. You guys, I guess it's just wait until next time.
My bad. I mean, in my defense, I have like 6 Instagrams now and a lot of different email addresses to maintain. But I'm grateful.
Bye,
Gratitude.
guys.
Gratitude is the
Gratitude,
attitude.
attitude, batitude, fatitude.
Ratitude.
Ratitude.
Underboob.